Straight ahead on 12 News, keeping the treats under control. See what Brooklyn Center schools are doing to make sure kids don't go overboard on sugar. Plus, a Crystal police dog's new workout area, but what has some neighbors unhappy. But first, sign, everywhere a sign, and not all of these signs are following city rules. 12 News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. As candidates make their final election push, they hope campaign signs will sway a few undecided voters.
Candidates have to follow specific rules where those signs are placed, but as Delane Cleveland reports, violations still happen.
Drive along any main road,
I see them everywhere.
and chances are likely that a cornucopia of campaign signs will greet passersby.
I think people need to know that we have a serious election going on.
Some people say they serve an important purpose.
It's a way of getting your voice out and getting it heard to many more people who are going to pass by every day.
They shouldn't be on public places.
While others think they're an eyesore.
They do get messy in the neighborhood, and it might create a problem with the neighbor if the neighbor is voting for the other guy.
They could also create a problem with city officials if they're not put in the right place.
They can't go in the right-of-ways, they can't go on fences or on utility poles or within the Clearview Triangle.
Jason Newby of Brooklyn Park's Code Enforcement Division has each candidate fill out a release form that spells out where signs can and cannot go.
On the intersections and within the boulevard are the most common areas that we find signs that we respond to calls to.
When people complain, that's when the city gets involved.
We notify that candidate or their representative, give them 24 hours to relocate that sign appropriately.
If they don't respond, the city picks them up. The signs behind me are one example of a violation. They're placed in what's called the Clearview Triangle, and there's a reason city officials don't want them there.
When they're within the boulevard or on the intersection, somebody that may be turning at that intersection may have an obstructed view, and we want to prevent that from happening.
And if you're not sure where to put them, find out.
Connie Dewhurst volunteers with political campaigns, and she says people should know better about placing signs where they shouldn't.
I would hope they would know the laws, and I think we need to abide by the laws because signs can cause issues at corners. You know, we need to be careful.
In Brooklyn Park, Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
Candidates have 3 days to retrieve confiscated signs in Brooklyn Park. The city requires all campaign signs be removed by November 14th. A 13-year-old girl is lucky to escape serious injuries after she was hit by a car. It happened Wednesday evening near the intersection of 82nd Avenue and Inland Lane North in Maple Grove. Police say the girl and her sisters were crossing the street when she was struck. The driver stopped at the scene, and police say drugs or alcohol were not a factor. The girl was treated at the hospital for minor injuries. Crystal and New Hope canine officers have a brand new training facility.
The park opened last week near 41st and Brunswick, and Sonia Goen shows us how it's helping to keep the top dogs in tip-top shape.
Hey, buddy.
Rocco is the Crystal Police Department's first canine officer.
Good boy.
His partner, Officer Jeff Cusick, says Rocco loves his new playground.
He's super excited to be doing these things.
The once vacant field is now home to jumping ramps and other obstacles. While Rocco thinks this is all fun and games, this is real work.
Everything that we do out here for trials is equivalent to things that are going to be relevant to use into the street later.
Rocco also puts his nose to the test.
If somebody has, say a set of keys or a weapon, something like that that's tossed into the field, we can send our dog in there and they can actually locate that based on the human scent.
Officer Cusick says this training facility will help Rocco to continue to be a top dog.
It allows us to train our dogs. Each year we have a certification process that we have to go through to recertify our dogs, make sure they're still up to par to work on the street.
But not everyone is in a playful mood when it comes to the new play park.
It was a nice mowed green space, all taken care of. And then you come home now and it looks like a prison yard.
But the city of Crystal says they didn't put this fence up. The federal government did. Now the park sits up on the city's backup water system. So for security reasons, the federal government says this whole area had to be fenced in.
Obviously you can see it, it's not very pretty.
This was actually a FEMA requirement.
But overall, city officials say they've received positive feedback on the new park.
Most people are pretty happy with it. They like to see that the canines out here. They like to see the extra police presence.
In Crystal, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
The park cost around $5,000. It was paid for through donations and fundraising efforts.
If your child is celebrating a birthday at school, Brooklyn Center schools say skip the cupcakes. Last summer, a new federal law went into effect mandating healthier standards for lunches and snacks. For example, more veggies and fruits, water instead of juice or soda. The Brooklyn Center School District is taking the policy one step further to include any in-school celebration. The goal is to plant the seed of healthy eating early in a child's life.
Achieving an overall healthy lifestyle that you can take on into adulthood and developing those habits to actually spread to your family members at home. Study shows that if you have a healthy lifestyle, you live longer, you have less stress, less chronic diseases.
The district is also promoting non-food ways to mark an in-school celebration. For example, sharing a book with classmates or participating in an activity.
Hennepin County Commissioners have approved a pay increase taking effect in 2015. Salaries for commissioners will rise 2.5%, the same as other county employees. A Hennepin County Commissioner's salary will be roughly $105,000 next year and $108,000 in 2016. Commissioners have to file a notice to accept the bump in pay. The vote was 5-2. Commissioners Jan Callison and Jeff Johnson both voted no.
Judging by Friday's forecast, the need for winter coats could come sooner rather than later. Today, 170 families packed into the Salvation Army in Brooklyn Park to get coats for their children. More than 8,000 coats were handed out at 11 different metro locations. For moms like Lori Taylor, who just moved from California, preparing for the winter with 4 children is a challenge.
We're definitely grateful because if there wasn't programs like this, then children would freeze, or they wouldn't have, low-income people wouldn't have the necessities to get what they need.
The winters that we've had here in Minnesota have been so horrible. It is so important to give a kid a coat.
The Brooklyn Park site was expecting to give out hundreds of coats by day's end. Coming up, she is a captain and a leader at Armstrong High School.
And she is this week's standout student. You'll meet her coming up next. Then later in sports, highlights from a pair of close Section 5 volleyball semifinal matches.
But first, a very chilly Halloween forecast. We may not climb out of the 30s on Friday. One of the top academic and athletic students at Armstrong High School told us one of her secrets to success.
17-year-old Kelsey Sather says she tries to do all of her homework at school. Because as Shannon Slatton explains, today's standout student has plenty of extracurricular activities to juggle too.
When it comes to Spanish immersion, this advanced placement Spanish literature and culture class at Armstrong is as tough as it gets.
It's very rigorous. It is comparable to a level 300 course at the college level.
One senior who has been a Spanish immersion student since day one.
She's dedicated herself to 13 years of studying Spanish. She's amazing.
She stands out.
Okay.
And not just because 17-year-old Kelsey Sather is ranked at the top of Armstrong's senior class.
She is a delight.
Un cuadro.
She makes things fun. This is challenging, but she never complains.
But challenging herself is something Kelsey doesn't hesitate to do.
I give my all to all my things. I don't just give a little bit. So I try my hardest in everything that I'm in.
And it shows. She's captain of her team in 3 sports.
It shows my leadership, and I'm a good leader of the team, and even from a young age, I came up being confident.
Even when she's outrunning the competition, Kelsey manages her rigorous schedule with calm confidence.
It definitely gives me a little bit of pressure in all my classes, but I never feel too stressed out about anything. I can always get things done.
That good attitude shows with her teachers and with her peers.
She encourages everybody. She's a nice person and a really hard worker.
In Plymouth, Shannon Slatton, 12 News.
Kelsey also plays violin and sings in the choir, and she's not sure yet where she'll go to college, but she hopes to study chemical or biomedical engineering.
Go Kelsey.
Yeah, go get them. Well, coming up, a Halloween alternative to trick-or-treating in Plymouth.
But first in sports, the Park Center girls soccer team runs into a very tough opponent at the state tournament. John Jacobson is in next.
The Osseo and Totino-Grace volleyball teams played a 5-set thriller early in the regular season. Their Section 5 3A semifinal was as good or better. The Orioles and Eagles meeting at Champlin Park High School. Highlights from this Section 5 3A semifinal match. After trailing much of the first set, Osseo takes it over late. Hennepin with the kill, and the Orioles win 25-22. Kayla Cole and the Eagles return the favor in set 2. Izzy Summers gets the kill from the right side. Grace pulls out a wild 27-25 win to even it up. Shia Sanders gets a big block for Osseo. They pull out a 25-23 victory in the third set to go up 2-1. The fourth set is the only one lacking drama. Brooke Shearman wipes it off the block. Grace wins easily to force a fifth set. And that one turns into a heartbreaker for Bill Kwan's Orioles. They lead 9-2, only to see Totino-Grace rally for a big 15-12 win. And they eliminate the Orioles in 5. In the second match, top-seeded Champlin Park faced number 5 seed Blaine. The Bengals' Laura Steiner goes cross-court with the kill to give the Bengals a 5-4 lead in the first set. Janae Alderson will take a set from Sydney Hilly and delivers a kill to put the Rebels up by 1. Champlin Park outscores Blaine 15-4 to close the set, including this kill from Maria Claflin. Rebels win 25-17. Late in the second set, and Hilly connects. Her kill gets Champlin Park back to within a point. But Blaine takes this one. Taylor Morgan with a big swing and kill. Bengals win 25-17 to even the match at 1. Rebels up 24-22 in the third set. Junior Hannah Krimble gets a block for the Rebels, and Champlin Park wins 25-22. Hilly leads the Rebels with 27 kills on the night. Champlin Park takes the fourth set 25-23, and they win the match 3-1. Champlin Park and Totino-Grace now meet in the Section 5 3A final for a spot on the state tournament Saturday night at 7 at Anoka High School. Park Center's win over Albert Lee in the state girls soccer quarterfinals moved the Pirates into the Class A semifinals Wednesday against second-seeded Orono. St. Cloud State University the site for the semifinals and finals this year and next. First half, Park Center with a corner kick. Ball bounces right to Molly Monson, but her shot goes over the net, and the game remains tied at 0. Orono gets on the board here. Pirates keeper Emily Nelson tries to clear the ball, but instead knocks it off the head of Orono's Carly Hewitt and in, and the Spartans have a 1-0 lead. 4.5 minutes later, Orono adds to its lead. Sophie Babel drives home the free kick, and the Spartans lead it 2-0. Midway through the second half, Babel strikes again. Watch this rocket from just outside the penalty box. Orono goes up 3-0. The Spartans cap the scoring when Shea Kennedy finds a wide-open Alexander Rusciano. She curls a one-timer past Nelson. And Park Center's quest for a state title ends with a 4-0 loss to Orono. The Pirates bounce back in the third-place game this morning. They shut out Hill-Murray 2-0. Maple Grove and Eastridge played today in the Class AA boys' third-place game, with the Raptors beating the Crimson 4-1. 12 highlights from the Wayzata Anoka State AA Boys Championship match Friday, starting at 4 on 12 News. The Providence Academy football team played its first 4 games on the road this season, and then played 4 home games on the school's practice soccer field because of construction delays on the renovation of its stadium. But none of that mattered. Providence ripped off an undefeated regular season and is now 1 win away from the state tournament. Standing in the way is perennial power Glencoe Silver Lake. The Panthers are riding a 6-game winning streak. The Lions know this will be the best opponent they've seen all year.
We actually went to one of their games when we had a bye week. We've been looking at them for a while, looking ahead during the normal season to this point. We know they're a tough team. We know they're aggressive. We will definitely need to play our absolute best to have a good outcome for this game.
Providence had to battle through a tough, low-scoring game against Breck in the Section 2 3A semifinals. The Lions put up over 300 yards of offense, but scored only 1 touchdown.
That was kind of the game where we faced some adversity. We had kept a lot of teams at arm's length throughout the season. And it was a game we needed. It was a game we needed to be in. We needed to be in a dogfight. We needed to be in a close game. We needed to be in a game with a familiar opponent. And that helped us. And I think that it made us work harder.
We didn't experience a loss throughout the season, but to have
a tough game where we really have to come together as, I mean, obviously we're really close as teammates, but those kind of moments bring you together even closer, so that was great to have, yeah.
Providence and Glencoe will square off at 3 o'clock Friday afternoon at Providence Academy. That's a look at sports for today.
Thanks a lot, John. Now to local vote 2014 and 2 candidates running for city council in Robbinsdale's Ward 3.
Incumbent George Selman, on the council since 2007, says he's worked to save money and improve the city's housing stock. Dennis Model has served on the Charter Commission and says he wants to help small businesses.
Hello, my name is George Selman. It has been my privilege to serve as the 3rd Ward representative for the Robbinsdale City Council. I am very proud of my record of finding ways to save money, keeping property taxes down, improving the city's housing inventory, and cracking down on rental properties. As the president of the Robbinsdale Economic Development Authority, I want to invite all of you not from Robbinsdale to come and discover or rediscover our great shopping, dining, housing, and more. For those of you in Robbinsdale's 3rd Ward, I ask for your vote on November 4th. If you want to visit with me directly, my email is thirdwardgeorge@aol.com. Thank you.
Greetings, my name is Dennis Model. As a candidate for Robbinsdale City Council, I bring common sense and a fresh approach to the future needs of our fine city. Since 2001, Robbinsdale is where our family is called home, and our children currently attend one of our fine public schools in the Robbinsdale School District. As an at-large leader appointed to the Charter Commission in 2003, I've learned a lot about what makes the city of Robbinsdale work. In the business world, I've helped many small businesses attract and retain more customers. It's time to change the perception of Robbinsdale to a vibrant city on the grow in the effort to attract more small businesses and young families who want to live, work, and play in Robbinsdale. With that in mind, I ask for your vote on Tuesday, November 4th.
Coming up next, a different way to enjoy Halloween.
It doesn't involve going door to door for candy, but still it involves a lot of treats. We'll be right back.
Well, finally, Halloween fun where you don't have to worry about the strange neighbor or need an app to keep track of the kids.
Plymouth is holding its annual alternative to trick-or-treating on Halloween night. Halloween at the Creek features games and activities geared toward preschool to early elementary school-age children. There'll be carnival games, inflatables, music, and treats. The cost is $10 per person at the door. Admission includes pizza and a beverage. It takes place from 6 to 8:30 Friday night at the Plymouth Creek Center.
And one good thing,
it'll be warm.
Yeah, it's going to be.
A lot of parents might choose that one.
It's going to be a chilly Halloween outdoors.
That does it for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
Stay with us. Community Corner is coming up next. We'll see you tomorrow.